a fight. They have an amateur fight coming up.
No, so just so you know, we started the live stream. Dom kind of clicks the button a little bit quick for me, but yeah, man, good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
You know, this is Liquidated. This is a podcast I kind of started as a passion project, but I was, I trying to get, a lot of the guys in on CT kind of get their origin story, get to know what they're all about, and kind of help some of the newcomers that are coming in this space figure out how, to make a name for themselves, whether it be an influencer or, an investor or a trader. But yeah, we've had a lot of, big names on. We had Luca Nex on. We've had Ponzi Trader, Pwn Lord, a bunch of great guys, and we're going to continue to do that. We got Aladdin coming on next week, Keyboard Monkey, and some other people. But I started that crypto fight night journey, and you've been a Bellator fighter. You've been a kind of professional fighter for some time. So
yeah,
go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, and we'll start it off.
Yeah, well, my name is Keith Berry, and they call me the NFT Kid. When I first started fighting when I was younger, they called me the KO Kid. My coach, my wrestling coach, gave me that nickname. I had a lot of quick first round knockouts, so I got that name. But yeah, I've been fighting for a long time, but crypto was kind of like my way out of fighting, like probably like 6 years ago. Made some money from Doge and just really went in the trenches with Twitter, and really made some good connections and slowly just built up a real big following. But I've kind of done that with different ways. Like, obviously, I'm into crypto, I'm into NFTs, but I was in the very beginning, I was buying a lot of NFTs from smaller artists and just kind of like uplifting people. And then it just seems like everyone loves fighting. Most people like it. And then everyone on crypto Twitter, they love crypto, obviously, and weed. So I love all those things. So those are the kind of my three main brands is weed, crypto, and fighting. So I kind of combined them all. And yeah, man, you really helped me out a lot. You got me introduced to the guys at Crypto Fight Night. And yeah, I've been boxing a lot this last year and a half and really focusing on the one art of boxing. I'm like a stand-up fighter, so boxing is I don't know, very passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to focus on the one art of boxing, and I just won the KOL. You were the one that told me about it, the KOL Fighter of the Year. For
Yeah, congratulations on that, and
yeah,
you've been killing everybody on all these fights, and but how did it all start? Like, did you grow up in it was your parents fighters, or were they into martial arts, or what got you into all this stuff?
So I grew up in Marietta, California, and I did like Taekwondo and stuff when I was a kid. And I was raised by like a single mom, so I was just like a rambunctious, rowdy kid. So I was always just getting in little fights at school and this and that. And then my mom put me in karate, and then I ended up getting into jiu-jitsu and wrestling. And then I started to calm down. I didn't want to fight in the street. I'd rather like compete against other people, other athletes that are actually like competing, not just like people in the street. So yeah, I got stabbed when I was in high school. I was getting in too many fights. I got stabbed by some Mexican guys kind of near the border here in California. And then it kind of like turned a lot of things around for me. My wrestling coach was like, dude, you're stupid. You need to like train and fight real like fights and do some amateur fights and work your way up to the pro circuit. So yeah, that's what I did. Like after high school, when I turned 18, I got my first fight and I won by knockout in like 30 seconds. And then I think my third fight, I got the record for one of the fastest knockouts in California at 5 seconds.
Wow.
And then, yeah, then like a couple fights later, I got another 5-second knockout. So I had two consecutive, or not consecutive, but I had two really fast knockouts in my record, So I thought that was fitting for the KO Kid name. And then, getting into NFTs and crypto, I love NFTs. I love the whole community aspect. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go like balls deep on this, and I'm just going to change my name from, KO Kid. I'm going to just start being NFT Kid. So that's kind of where that came from.
And is that where a lot of your following came from, and originally fighting, and then it got into crypto, or like where's most of the following from, you think?
No, it's mostly all crypto people because when I was like fighting in the UFC for Strikeforce, I only had like 4,000 followers, and I was like, it was back in the day when like crypto, or not crypto, but on Twitter you could only be like verified. So they only had the verified badges if
Yeah, I
you were,
remember. Yeah.
yeah, like now, like everyone can buy it, but like it
Mhm.
was like really prestigious to have that. So I
Of
had
course.
that,
Yeah.
and then I started getting into crypto. So I think that did help me like leverage things. And they're like, oh wait, this guy, he's like a established fighter, and he's getting into crypto. So I got a lot of support, and I did buy a lot of people's NFTs and supported a lot of people, and
Mhm.
just yeah, went through the whole cycles, from 2019 till now.
And when you did like taekwondo and jujitsu, like is there like a kind of like spiritual aspect of that, like that kind of like calm you down a little bit, or like did it treat you like create it like a certain type of discipline for you at all, or
Yeah, like I said, like I was like my mom was a single mom. My dad wasn't around, so I was just rambunctious. I needed like I'm like a very physical kid, so I needed like a sport. I played
yeah,
football. I wasn't passionate about football because like our football team sucked and they would lose, and I would like, but I liked individual sports, so I really
mhm,
gravitated towards wrestling, jiu-jitsu, karate, and my karate instructor, he fought in the first UFC. His name is
wow,
Mark Hall.
yeah.
Yeah. He broke this I think he fought a sumo wrestler. The guy was like 400 pounds and he broke his nose and he won the fight. And so I watched him fight in the UFC, like the very first UFC days. And when I was like 8. So I definitely had like fighting like kind of triggered in my mind, since I was young.
And like, did that like allow you to like really focus on like discipline and like schedules and things like that, or like were you always kind of like that?
I got more disciplined as I got older, but I just after I got in too many street fights and I got in trouble too much, that I was
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna focus on like, making money with fighting and doing it that way. So, but now like I feel like I've had a lot of fights. I've had close to 40 MMA fights. I've
Mhm.
had maybe like 10 boxing fights and handful of kickboxing fights, hundreds of jiu-jitsu competitions. Now like going through all this and helping some people with karate combat and things, I'm like, I really do find a big passion to be like a coach and help people, give people good advice, and just kind of show them the ways, kind of give them the shortcuts so they can just kind of like not have to do all these, like, go through all these trials and errors of things.
Yeah.
Just I already know all the things to do, so just do this, do that. Especially for like young fighters, if you get somebody young that's motivated, that wants to fight, that
Mhm.
will listen, then yeah, we'll do well.
Yeah, I feel like boxing and fighting is like kind of like a thankless profession. But that being said, like the best people I know are fighters. They're the most disciplined people. They're the type of guys that most guys that are fighting are in great shape, or very good looking dudes that could go to the
Yeah,
clubs and do the girl thing and do all that other stuff. But they choose not to. They choose to wake up at 6 a.m. and work out and eat good
yeah,
and get paid nothing to do something that really get into a fight for 5 or 10 minutes,
yeah.
and it's really impressive to me, the people that do it. But do you have any recommendations for people that are trying to fight and like are struggling? Like, how do you pick up these other ways to make money?
Oh, like actual just fighters in general.
Yeah,
Well, fighters, the thing is, like, you have to market yourself, right? So they have to find like a little marketing niche and this and that. So I have all these like, NFT communities and people that support me a lot. So I've gotten a lot of really good sponsors and I've been lucky, but it is harder like for the fighters to get sponsors because you need people that already believe in you, that want you to succeed, that don't really care about the ROI of maybe their company or what they're doing. They mostly just want to use it as a tax write-off, support you,
yeah.
and then kind of get into it from there, right? But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like and for people that are listening that are in the crypto space, like if you get paid like a couple grand to fight, like in a real fight, these guys are ecstatic. Whereas we're paying like, $5,000 for some shitty min of some like thing we, are super gambling on, in the NFT world. So it's,
yeah,
anyone that's around, any fighter is around that world, just kind of respect like with all the stuff they go through, and if you can help them out, give them a shot and help them out.
yeah.
Um, so what about the weed space? When did you get into weed and all the other stuff?
So back in like 2000. like 2018. I grew up in California. I live in Vegas, but I'm in California a lot. I'm in California right now. I'm at my girlfriend's house. But yeah, so probably back in 2017, some of my friends from high school, they started a distribution company, and they're like, they don't even smoke weed, but they saw all these tax loops and all these like basically big tax incentives and tax loopholes that they could target, and then they could make a lot of money in the distribution side of cannabis. And
Mm-hmm.
they ended up making their own brands, and so we had like a whole wheelhouse of things in cannabis. We had gummies, we had drinks, we had flour, we had dabs. We had every part of the cannabis plant, and that was when right before COVID hit. So that's when we were building our factory. And so then when COVID hit, we were an essential business. So I was the leader of the sales team. So I
Mm-hmm.
worked there for the last like maybe 3 years right after COVID. So till about 2023. And yeah, I just learned a ton. I learned a ton about weed in general, cannabis, cannabinoids, just CBD in general too. Just the different like. So we had this drink that we made, and it was a THC shot. So it was 1 ounce, and it hits you within like 15 to 20 minutes, and it was 100 milligrams. So because there's a lot of like heavy users in California because they use
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
weed.
a lot, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
not really into. Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot to take the one shot, and then it's not like normal weed. It like an edible takes like an hour and a half. This would
Mm-hmm.
hit you with like 15 to 20 minutes. So like people would get floored. But we won Cannabis Cup, so we came out with that new product. My buddy was really smart with all the ideas. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a bunch of high school friends coming together. We started a company, and they ran it up to like $100 million company, and they sold it with. A big Canadian firm, and now they own it now. It's called Grow Packer, but it's owned
Mm-hmm.
by this big Canadian company now. And we made products for people that were involved with Exhibit, people that were with Cookies, like Burner, all the biggest names in weed we worked with. We made the products, or maybe we did like label with them. We did packaging, we made gummies, we made drinks, we made chocolates. So we just did all these different things, and then we made off other people by making it for them cheaper because we were in Desert Hot Springs over here in California, and the tax incentivizations was really good for anyone involved with weed. So the cannabis industry, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I
So
learned a lot. I learned
are
a
you
lot.
still in that space, or are you mainly focused on crypto now?
I'm still in this space, like lightly. I just like make some connections and stuff with people, certain bigger guys on farms. It's called like a broker. So I've done it a couple times where like I just kind of hook farms up with each other, and they make like a
Mm-hmm.
big deal, and they'll just give me a little money on the side. But
Yeah.
I just have a lot of friends that are still in the industry doing that. So it's a grind too, and you got to travel around a lot, but I do it once in a while. So I'm still involved with all my friends. I actually saw some friends last night that I used to work with. So it was good to kind of catch up with everyone. But
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in the weed space slash I guess trapper space. I don't know. It's like the only kind of the
yeah,
only few ways to exit the matrix, right? It's like
yeah,
you're either a trapper or in the weed game, whether it be gray market or whatever, and or you're a crypto guy or you got lucky in real estate or some tech thing. So those are the people that show up at the club at least. So in LA, it's usually the trapper kind, but a bunch of good guys in that space are doing really well, especially the connect between Vegas and Los Angeles.
yeah,
And I think there's a big connection between guys that started off as trappers or were in the market of buying drugs on the internet that got into crypto for sure.
for
Um,
sure. For a bunch of Silk Road guys are in,
yeah, I
back in the
saw a
day.
tweet yesterday. Like, he's like, I paid $250,000 for Xanax in 2017.
Yeah.
It was like,
Oh
it was,
shit.
it was a really good tweet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
but
That's crazy.
but yeah, it's funny. Like most a lot of origin stories for crypto guys are from I bought this on Silk Road or I was selling
Well,
this.
see, like our whole crypto industry is very like it's a lot of sketchy kind of things. Gamblers, fighters, like illegal things that were used, just like Silk Road.
Mhm.
And then now it's coming a very more mainstream. It's used for good things, obviously, too. But it's just funny. We all come from like some crazy backgrounds. And
It's definitely starting to, like for me, I'm a big Bitcoin believer. Obviously, they're finding other ways to do different markets, but obviously, human beings like to make money and play games, and
yeah,
crypto is quite the casino for
yeah,
some people, and they're going to find great ways to do financial markets or otherwise. I think on chain, we'll see how that goes. There's going to, I don't know. I feel like the stock market, I keep saying this, is going to become the next meme coin market. They're starting to institutionalize and provide access and ability for all the foreign money to come in to invest in the stock market. So I'm curious to see how crazy things get in the U.S. markets once that's able to happen.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's for a different conversation. But what about the art? Like, I'm kind of funny myself. I was a big jock in high school, played football, basketball. I got into some street fights, but was always interested in boxing, and was fortunate enough to have this weird moment in life where we've been able to do this for a little while. But
Wow.
I always loved art, and I think I loved art because I couldn't fucking draw anything. I didn't know how to do it. Like it's
Dude,
confusing
that's
as fuck.
exactly what I say. I was literally gonna say the
Yeah.
same thing. That's why I
Yeah.
like enjoy art too.
Yeah. So anyone that knows me, like, knows I'm kind of a man's man and all this other stuff. But if you go in my house, I have a bunch of, street art, 5'5" original paintings. Every single painting
Yeah,
every single thing in my house is original. And it's
yeah,
either I had it custom or not. And, for me, I just fell in love with real art much more than digital art. I do like some of the AI generated things that came out. I'm more interested in historical NFTs. Like I have a rare Pepe Nakamoto and a CryptoPunk. I think I'm looking at the V1 punks right now, which has been getting a little bit of press lately. Which I
okay.
don't know if you know what the V1 punk was, but apparently the CryptoPunks is a version 2, the real CryptoPunks that are the high valued one. And apparently there was a V1 that had some issues with the code, or they could have got drained, or there was some issues. So they fixed that and wrapped the V1 punks. So you can get a V1 punk right now for like I think 3 or 4 ETH.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
so I want to think about when to pick up with those. As far as
I didn't even know about that.
yeah, so as far as these real NFTs, like actually, Keyboard Monkey I was talking to him a couple of days ago. He sold the original AI generated NFT, which I think was called like a Robbie or something like that.
Yeah.
And the floor on a Robbie is like $1 million.
Yeah.
But it's like the ugliest piece of shit you ever seen, like ever. It's like it's just
Yeah.
terrible
It's more
looking.
like the
But
community, right? And like all the stuff
yeah,
built around it and
yeah, and the
the lore.
lore and the history behind it, So like I do think Fidenzas and some of these other NFTs will have some staying power.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but we'll see if the NFT markets come back. That I'm hearing rumors that they're doing all these treasury companies. There's things called DATs that are coming out in the U.S. markets, and I feel like some people are going to bundle these DATs that IPO that will have some NFTs included into it. But we'll see if that's a true story or
Yeah.
not. What have you collected, or is it more, do you like invest and flip, or how do you approach the NFT market?
Lately I've been collecting some Yuga assets. I got a couple mutants lately. I was trying to collect some of these D
That's dope.
gods, but I don't know. The D gods, I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. So like right now, I'm trying to look for good deals on like, quote unquote blue chip type of NFT projects. So yeah, I like
Yeah,
these G's on Ape. I was doing a gaming space today, and I'm like some of these big ape chain NFTs. So I'm kind of like spreading myself around. But dude, all those crypto punks sold, and that everyone's like, oh, that's the NFT bull season has started. So a lot of bigger NFTs are
yeah,
being bought up right now, and obviously Ape Fest in Vegas is coming up soon, so they're gonna get a little hype on that and a little bump in price. But
When's that? When is Ape
I
Fest?
want to say it's the 18th of October.
Okay. When is the Canelo fight? That's coming up,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's like is this September? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'll be in. I think I'll be in Vancouver still in October, but it'd be cool to go to one of the Ape Fests. I've never been to one of those. Do you have a fight coming up, or are they still trying to figure out if you're coming in on
Yeah, they
Singapore?
just asked me if they want me to fight, if they want me to do a pro fight on it. And I said, yeah, for sure. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
I did the brain work and all that stuff, a brain scan, CT scan. So I still have it. It's good for 5 years. So yeah, if they want to do a pro fight, that would be
yeah,
awesome. It's way better with 10-ounce gloves. Those 14-ounce gloves are hard to fight in, you know?
yeah. It's funny. I've never like knocked anyone out like ever, and then I knocked that one guy out with 14-ounce gloves. That was
Yeah,
pretty cool. But
yeah.
you
You've
know,
had some amazing
you know,
success, bro. I've been right there for it. I love it.
yeah, you've knocked a few guys out, man. Those 10-ounce gloves would get wild. I fought that karate combat with you in Mexico
Oh yeah, yeah.
City. And boy, those 4-ounce gloves were pretty
Yeah.
scary. Like I didn't think any fight would last that long with those gloves
Yeah,
on. Yeah.
yeah, tiny. Those the Karate Combat actually has really good gloves too. Like the way they made those gloves, they're better than the UFC because the UFC ones, it's hard to hold your fist because they're so tight and it's
Mhm.
like it's weird. But the Karate Combat ones, they're really quality gloves. Like it's all like free for your hand, easy to punch, easy to close your
Yeah.
fist.
Easy to poke in the
Yeah,
eye.
easy to get fucking poked.
So for people that don't know, Keith got poked in the eye pretty bad for his first karate
Yeah.
combat fight.
It was a cut on my
It was kind
eyelid
of a
though. It just
ruthless.
looked like it was my eye, but it was just my eyelid that broke. I could have kept fighting. If it was
Yeah.
any other fight, the fight would have kept going. You know?
Yeah, it looked terrible when I saw. I actually wasn't able to watch the fight till I got home, but I was like, wow, this
Yeah.
is crazy.
Keeps losing
Yeah.
his eye and shit. No, that was fine though. It worked out.
Do you smoke before fights, or is it because my one of my coaches he said he smoked before a fight and he got knocked out. I was wondering, do you think you're better if you smoke before a fight or worse or what?
So one of my best fights I've ever had. It was with Bellator. I got a fight of the night, and I was just going back and forth with this guy that was on the Ultimate Fighter. His name was Cortez Coleman. So he was like fresh off the Ultimate Fighter. He got a win, and then me and him fought in Bellator, and it was his hometown. And so, you know what a swing fight is? So
No.
usually they do this when it's like a hometown guy because they want all the crowd to stay. So if one fight doesn't happen at a certain time, then you'll end up fighting at the end of the night. So you could fight
Mhm.
like at 8 o'clock, or you could fight at like midnight, right? So I was over like in Oklahoma. I was about to fight. They're like, "All right, you're going up in 5 minutes." And I was like, "All right." I was ready to go. I was all pumped up. And then like right before the fight, they're like, "Oh no, you're the swing fight. This fight's going longer than we thought. You're gonna end up fighting at the end of the night, like the last fight." So I was like, "Oh shit!" And me and the guy had like a lot of beef. Like was like a little overweight, missed weight by like half a pound, and then I ended up making weight. But this guy was like talking shit the whole time, and it was just like it was just crazy. Like some of the people in his corner I didn't like. I think I knew one of these girls that he was like talking to, and I didn't like her. So it was like all this drama. So I had an edible like in my bag when they told me I'm a swing fight, and I ate the edible and I took a nap and I fell asleep like all the way until about 12:30. They woke me up like, "Oh, you're fighting. You're the last fight." I got woken up from like a stoned nap, and I had like one of the best fights I've ever had. So I'm like, I don't take edibles anymore before fights, but the one time I did, I had an amazing fight. So I think it's per person. I've never been knocked out and been high in a fight either. So that's good for me. So, but but yeah, it's per person. You know, I'm a big stoner. I smoke all the time. But like lately for these fights, we've been traveling. I've just been sober. You know, I've just been just kind of sucking it up and pumping myself up and getting in there. But yeah.
Yeah, I never fought with anything ever, but I think I sparred somebody one time. I took like a mushroom like chocolate or something like that, and it was
Yeah.
great. Like I like knocked this dude. I TKO'd this guy, and I didn't knock him out like I did in the Dubai fight, but I like saw things a lot clearer, and my cardio was better, which I didn't understand. But
No,
whatever.
like, bro, that's a thing that people don't talk about a lot, but like Dutch kickboxers and high level kickboxers, they fight on mushrooms and they like have amazing fights. And I've
Yeah.
had camps where I've been training a lot and I was taking some like different golden teachers or different mushrooms, and you just feel great. It opens up your cardio. It makes you more like loose and more playful instead of being so tense, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually a little alpha for the room.
Yeah. That's literally like what I felt too. I was like in shock, like how good I felt. But has your training? I mean, one of the things I want to talk about on Liquidated a lot is like mentality. I've had like an addiction therapist on a couple weeks ago because I think a lot of people that are in this space like have addiction issues or issues with figuring out when to leave the casino or are making just better judgment. We had like a great life coach on last week and a business coach as well, who's extremely well renowned. And I use him. His name's Elliot. But how do you use fighting and the way you kind of approach life, like, and maybe explain like your discipline and what you do every week,
Yeah,
and how does that put you or make you like operate at top levels both in crypto and whatever else in
yeah.
life.
Well, I think for me individually, like I've done enough in my life, and I'm 36 years old, and I've been around, I've done some things, I've had a lot of fights. So now at this point, like I know if I don't train, then I'll eat bad, I'll be lazy, and I just don't feel as productive. It actually like is depressing. So now like I have to always work out, like at least every day, even if it's my rest day, I do something. I'm doing yoga. Yoga really helped me out throughout my career the last like 5 or 6 years. Just like it's hard for me to kind of sit down and just stretch for like an hour. So I've been kind of implementing that, and it calms your mind down as well. But what's another thing? I mean, I read books. I read a bunch of books with different guys that like David Goggins and like what's that? There's this big Marine. I forget his name.
I know you're talking about the Sean guy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. What's his name? I forget his goddamn name. But there's all these Marines, all these different books, Sun Tzu books. I watched a lot of Mike Tyson stuff too, like Mike Tyson early days when he was just like waking up at 4 in the morning and running. And another thing is, a couple of my fights when I was probably like early 20s, I knocked everyone out quick. But some of my fights later on, I lost a couple of decisions just because I got tired. So I started implementing running. So I run a lot. I have like a running routine that I stick up with. So it definitely keeps me in good cardio shape. And running is very
What is
mental.
that routine?
So it's very like you go through your life, things that you're thinking about. I never want to walk on my runs. So I'm always just like trying to truck along. I'm always trying to beat my last time. So it's kind of like a good competitiveness. But yeah, man, I would just say you talk about addictions. I'm definitely addicted to training and the rush of it all and just staying in shape. Because when I don't train and when I don't have a fight or anything, then you have no purpose. You feel like kind of bored with life. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's like a couple.
That's my big concern. What's your running regimen like? What do you do every week for running?
Well, I'm in California now, so I do trail running. So there's like a place called Santa Rosa Plateau, and it just has like beautiful trails up and down. I kind of like get a mix between uphill, and I don't do much downhill. I kind of go slower when I go downhill. I don't think it's good for your knees, but I do a lot of trail running. Probably like 3 or 4 times a week, I'll do trail running, and then at least once a week, I'll do like some hard sprints, and then another day I'll do like stairs with maybe shorter sprints with maybe like one kind of fast 3 mile. I've been like trying some different things out for different cardio, but I'm always running at least 5 times a week. So yeah, and it
Mhm.
gets annoying because my feet, in the morning, my feet are hurting. I gotta go run. I'm like, oh shit. But
What about yoga?
Yoga's a lot easier. Yoga sometimes I've been a little undisciplined with it lately. I need to get back into it. I haven't been doing as much as I should. I've only been doing like maybe like 30 minute sessions. I used to do like hour and a half sessions. I need to get more.
But do you do that like a week, or do you do that like, or do you like 3 times a week,
No,
or
it's
how
like every day
often?
when I wake up, I do like a little yoga, like 30 minutes to just kind of wake up my body. But I used to do it for a lot longer. I just need to like extend my session. I just have a lot going on, you know. I'm always trying to hustle. It's always crypto shit that I'm doing in the morning. So sometimes I'll listen to spaces and I'll do yoga for like 30 minutes and then kind of get my day started.
I mean, yeah, dude. Like, I try to do all this stuff. It's hard to train like a pro athlete, you know. And I run a law firm with like 600 clients. I do crypto. I got all these other. I do a
Yeah.
bunch of shit, and it's hard to keep up with all this stuff. I mean, I'm not making excuses, but it's like, I've considered, I know you want to fight me, and like Tyrone Woodley, like even mentioned that you wanted to fight. Like, I have to like really take that approach from like a pro fighter stance. It's like I almost have to give up a lot of other
Yeah.
things. So it's like it's insane. I thought I've trained as close so I can as a pro fighter before for a few fights since CFN, but it really is a full commitment. And if most people can't even take 15 minutes a day to work out, and we're taking an hour and a half to do boxing, maybe another hour and a half for recovery. I should probably add 30 minutes for yoga, and I still need to run, which I don't run very much.
Yeah. Some people don't run though.
It's
Like I swim too. I swim and I bike. I mountain bike. I try to just do all kinds of cardio. You know, I try.
Yeah, I love to swim too.
Yeah.
It's fun.
When I so the thing about me, I've always been like my style for fighting is athletic. So the more cardio I have, the better for me. So I'll perform better. You know, like when you're not thinking about like getting tired at all, then you're fighting better. You know, you're fighting smarter. You're
Mhm.
fighting better combos come out. Your reactions are better. Everything is just more crisp.
So you train most of your life for MMA type
Yeah,
of fights. I know you train with Sean Strickland and that crew, which they do just a bunch of sparring more or
yeah,
less, right?
for sure.
And how has that been with your experience with training with boxing coaches now? Do you prefer, since you're training for boxing only, are you learning more in boxing
Yeah, I
now,
stopped going. I haven't
or is
been in
it?
Extreme Couture in a while, like maybe a couple months. I go to the UFC PI and I'll spar with Sean, but it's like a boxing only ring. And then I go to Pound for Pound
Mhm.
in Vegas, and then I go to Temecula Boxing here when I'm in California. So I've only been doing boxing. I've only been really focusing, and it's kind of nice. It's nice. Like I did see Jay Chains the other weekend. I kind of kicked his ass at jiu-jitsu, and I was like, oh, I miss jiu-jitsu a little bit. But no, but I boxing is like my passion, so I'm gonna like keep it up, and this is what I'm gonna kind of finish on. I'm getting a lot of random offers for BKFC, but bare knuckle is just brutal, and I'm like, I don't know if I even want to do it at all. If yeah, I'll probably do it maybe at least once to try it, but it's not yet. It's not for like a year or two when I'm like done boxing, you know.
I'd actually love to do one bare knuckle fight
Yeah,
before
just
I'm done.
one to like
Yeah.
just see how it is.
I just want to do one to see like who I
Yeah,
am. That's the
yeah,
only reason. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
I'd like to get you a dirty boxing fight. I'm part owner of that, and I'm trying to get you set up with that. But give me
Yeah,
some
no, that
time.
would be really cool. I
But I
think
think
that's
it's
a
cool.
cool like it's like a new fight style because it's like almost a new sport, right?
Yeah.
Because it's its own thing. So it's kind of cool. It's new and it has some good like marketing behind it. I like what they're doing. And yeah, bro, I would love that.
Yeah, one thing that I think the fighters are behind on this whole creator economy, um, and you talk about purpose and not being able to do things. Like I'm really concerned about AI, and when there's nothing left to do. Like, I think a lot of people are going to get
Yeah.
depressed, and there's going to be a lot of rehab facilities are going to be through the roof with online gambling and everything else. It's a strange time that we're
Yeah.
getting into. But it might be finally the time where fighters and people that are in this fighting world finally get their time to shine. Um, and
Yeah.
hopefully with streaming and everything else, hopefully some of these fighters will really get a big following and start doing pretty well monetarily,
Mhm.
and hopefully inspire some people to get into that world, because it's a spiritual world too. It's trading too is a lonely profession. Fighting is one of the loneliest professions in the world, because every day, you have to convince yourself that you're going to get there, and no one's really patting you on the back. So it's a different type of environment, and it's one of the hardest things I've ever done, for sure. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
No, for sure. No, it is. It is. It's different. You're a lot more humble when you've had some fights, and you just don't want to like start shit. Like, you just been through some shit already. It gives you like just like a very like strong, silent confidence, in life and in a lot of things. So I love fighting. I'm very passionate about fighting, and I want to like help coach people. When I'm totally done fighting, I want to like help bring somebody from when they're 18 to the UFC, and then like do something like that. I want to do some things and kind of go through the process. And yeah, I think that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, one of my bucket list thing is to corner someone in the UFC. Obviously I had that story with you with one of my previous coaches. I got pretty upset about where I helped him out a lot and didn't get the opportunity to do that. But another guy I sponsor, his name's King Kong. He's from Africa.
Right.
He trains at Soma Fight Club in Bali. He's undefeated. He's won a bunch of fights in Bahrain.
Okay.
Great on the ground, great up top. Probably the most shredded guy you've ever seen in your life.
Nice.
And he just signed for Contender.
Oh, nice. Oh, dude, there's some big fights tomorrow. Some gnarly fights.
Yeah, I have. I bet 22 grand to win 10 grand on Cosmot. So I don't know if you think that was a good bet. So
yeah, I gotta look at all the odds. There's just fun bets all over. I'm kind of sad I'm not in Vegas. I like to go to the casino and make bets and kind of just chill, and not too much. I don't even bet that much. I'll bet like $50 per fight and just mess around.
What UFC is it tomorrow? What's it called?
I think it's 319.
Let's take a look at the card. So I did bet on Kazmath. I don't know if you pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think he's going to win, or what do you think on that one?
Yeah, he's undefeated. But DDP.
Okay, we got Pim.
He's a big.
We got Paddy Pimblett versus Gaethje. Yeah, Paddy Pimblett versus Gaethje. What do you think about that?
That's a good one. I'm excited for that one too. There's some good fights. I forgot about that fight. Yeah, I think Paddy's gonna win that. I think they're kind of grooming him to be a star. I think that's gonna be a good one.
What about Cannor versus Page?
Cantonier. Yeah, Cantonier versus Michael Page. I think Michael Page is going to outpoint him. I like Michael Page. He did a flying knee to somebody's head and just cracked their skull, like caved in their skull. Like, do you remember that fight?
That sucks. I don't want to know. That's
oh, dude, the guy got hit and he went on the ground. It was fucking wild. But yeah, he's a star. I like him. MVP, Michael Venom Page. He's a good fighter. I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to win. I should do a good parlay. This is a sweet fight card for some good parlays.
What's the odds on Pimblett? Do you know? Let's take a look.
I'm doing my recovery in a little bit. I'm going to do you get massages or anything?
I'm going to start to. I have a really good PT guy back home, and I'm in Vancouver back and forth. So I need to find somebody, but I'm trying to get like the right routine. But Vancouver's been great. I wake up in the morning, I train for an hour and a half. I do recovery, like cold ice bath and sauna, but not a lot of, I need to do more stretching. I wanted to pick up yoga, and I need to lock in my diet a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I feel great. I've been here for about 18 days now. I feel very, very good.
You're getting locked in over there.
What's the deal with J Chains? Like, the impression like I get was like he never really fought very much before, but he seems like he has a legit, background in fighting or some background in fighting.
J Chains, I mean, he's like kind of always training and stuff, but I mean, I think his
Yeah.
experience has been just doing all these fights and training for these fights. That he had that fight with you, he had the fight with that one Billy guy, and then he
Yeah, but
almost
someone
other
mentioned
fights.
like
So I
on
think he's been
Twitter,
in a
like just
lot.
okay, because someone had mentioned like on the timeline, like, oh, this guy has got more fighting experience than anyone besides like NFT Kid. And I was like, okay, that sounds kind of weird. Like he must have been fighting before this,
Oh no way,
So
J
I was
Chains.
always wondering, like,
No
does he
way.
have experience in jujitsu?
No, I murked him at jiu-jitsu, and he doesn't know how to wrestle either. He doesn't know any of it. I don't know who said that. I don't think that's. I don't think. I know Jay Chains. He's a nice guy. I like Jay Chains, but uh, like fighting experience, he doesn't have a lot. He only has a couple fights, and then a little, maybe a year or two.
I'll tell you right now, he has got like a heavy hand. Give
Oh,
me
you're
one
good.
second. Dom, looks like we lost you for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Are you
Can you hear me?
good? Yeah, but it looks like he has a crazy heavy hand. Because when he hit me, like I've been, I've sparred with UFC fighters, I've sparred with pro fighters that obviously gone a little bit easier on me, but I've never been hit as hard as I got hit by him.
Yeah, I
He's
think
got a
right
heavy
time
hand.
though. That was like you got brawling a little bit, and but once you kind of cleaned it up, boom, and
Mhm.
then you hit him, probably the hardest he's ever been fucking hit.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
popped. Yeah,
yeah.
that was a
Oh
fun
yeah,
night.
that was a fun night. That was good shit.
What about like discipline with food? Or you eat really well? Like don't drink. Just do the weed
Yeah,
stuff
I
and.
stay away from the alcohol because alcohol just will make you eat worse too, and it's just empty calories. It's just not good for you. Alcohol is like just
Mhm.
notoriously bad for you. Like there's all these studies with your mind. It like puts holes in your mind, and parts of your brain get fucked up if you drink too much alcohol over a certain amount of time. And as a fighter and like an athlete, you should not even touch alcohol like a lot ever. Right? I mean, I drink here and there, like when an occasion or something's happening, then I will. But I don't drink often, especially if I'm training for a fight. And
Yeah. What do you typically eat? Like, what's your
when
diet
I'm in
like?
camp, like I'm not in camp right now. I'm kind of free. I had like a pastrami sandwich yesterday from this new place, but like a normal day, if I'm like training, then it's like I have some really easy things that I get at Sprouts. I get like these salmon fillets, so I'll make some salmon and rice, and I'll do some like asparagus, and then one day I'll do like chicken rice and Brussels sprouts, and I'll just mix it up. I've actually gotten better at cooking, just like really simple shit and like eats, and I definitely have like a meat kind of a diet, like hearty, but I try to stay away from like processed foods altogether. Try to eat all organic. It's expensive to eat really
Yeah.
healthy because you got to treat your body like a race car, right? You want to put the best fuel in it. Use the best oil change products or whatever. So the same thing with your body. So yeah, I've been eating a lot of organic probably the last like 10 years. I've been eating really good.
Yeah, my diet sucks. Like, it's good sometimes when I'm trying to lose weight for these fights. And I think the fight I'm taking, I just agreed to lose like 20 pounds by October
Yeah, you better get
1st.
some running
So I got
in.
some work to do. But I don't know. I don't. I wish I could dial in the diet like full time and just be good, but I love
Me
to
too.
eat.
Yeah, but it's eating right most of the time, and then you have those day or twos that you could cheat, and your body won't catch up to it, especially if you're dieting good and working out hard.
I think one of the main things for me is like I like to be good at a lot of things, but I also like to be degenerate. So it's like I also love the fact that I can be good at a lot of things and be disciplined with a lot of things, but also be
Yeah,
degenerate. And like I'm trying to change my brain to be like, okay, like it's not cool to be a degenerate anymore. Like let's just be
not
like,
cool.
disciplined all the time. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that's been the transformation for me, where it's like, it's time to stop going out, like time to really lock in on recovery and training. And if I want to have a good time, like, that's cool. I don't need to go out and party. I can just go have a great dinner and hang out with my friends,
Yeah. No, I get that though, because I love food a lot too. So that probably is like one of the hardest things is the dieting, because once you're in camp, you want to eat real good, but sometimes when you're off camp, you're eating kind of whatever and having some, your taste buds get used to some good fancy food, and then all of a sudden you cut that out and get a little moody, especially with the weed. The weed, that is hard with weed, and I get a lot of munchies, so it sometimes.
Yeah, I can't do that, because if I do that, then I just I can eat everything.
Go
and
crazy.
Like,
yeah.
But it's kind of weird, like for kids that are listening that want to get all the money in the world and buy a Lambo and go party and get the bottles and all this other stuff. It's like, I spent like a good portion of my life like working my butt off so I could do all this crazy degenerate stuff, and then I get all the money and all this stuff now, and all I can think about is like, oh, okay, like how do I like eat perfectly and work out all day and stay the fuck home and not do anything stupid?
Yeah, it's funny how that comes back around.
It's like, yeah, it's all this full circle stuff. So really focus on like, I think mind and body, spirituality in a way, like you're figuring out like what do you want to do with your life, what it means things to you. Like obviously friends and family are really important, and obviously finding like a good partner if you're into getting married or whatever the other stuff. Like, and I think that all goes hand in hand with like crypto. Like I mentioned last week, like I have a very close friend, and I said like, if you never did cocaine, like how much money would you be worth? He's like, oh, 100 million. And like, he's still worth a decent amount of money, but he's not lying. Like, the decisions you can make in these short moments where you're going nuts, drinking or doing whatever.
I got lucky in that sense. I never got into like cocaine or even alcohol like that crazy. I drink here and there, but I kind of got lucky in that sense. I didn't get into like some of the crazy stuff, because I've heard a lot of fighters.
Yeah, I was really good.
Get into some crazy.
Yeah, they get into it because they got to replace the rush. Like, I was getting these crazy adrenaline rushes from playing football when I was 8 years old. And then when I stopped playing sports when I was 18, it's like, okay, how do I replace this? And fortunately for me, I had a really good football coach. I didn't drink or do any type of drugs, until like my early 30s. And obviously, like I don't do illegal stuff. But like if I drink, if I drink now, and I take it too far, it's like, okay, this is stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's an interesting, people in crypto, it's kind of funny. If you go to a conference or you go out with these guys, like it's crazy how similar we all are.
Yeah.
Even though we've never met each other. So it's like, we're all kind of dealing with some of the same stuff that, affects us a bit, and we're all trying to optimize. And I think it's good to, get people on the podcast to talk about how they deal with it. And I think like the great way for me and you to deal with it is working out and, exercise, fixing diet. And then, our mind's much clearer.
Yeah. Like, and I'm not trying to just tell, oh, you should just work out. You're going to change everything. You have to find yourself in maybe it's a sport, maybe it's some activity, just to be in better shape. Because if you're in crypto and you're always in your chair, you're not doing shit. If you just eat a little better and work out a little more, you're going to feel better. You're going to trade better. Everything's going to be better. But like, it's hard, it's just hard to get in that momentum and get going. But I would say if anyone has any type of sports or anything like that they like, or any activities that they're passionate about, and it's exercise, then you're good to go. And then you could start from there. But yeah.
It's like, and I've never seen a person that regretted getting sober. I've never seen a person that regretted getting in shape. You see probably people that regret getting fucked up or whatever else.
Oh yeah.
But if you can find a way to discipline yourself a little bit to doing these things, they can really be life altering or otherwise. what kind of sponsors do you think you'll get for Singapore? Can you help me get some sponsors? And what's the plan
Yeah.
for your trip?
I need to get you on with Shiptoshi, with my guy with Squid Grow, because he's been like the best sponsor for me, and I've already told him about you, so I think he's already kind of biting at that. So I think
Yeah, let me
he
know.
got.
I'm open October 2nd. I fight Singapore. I just booked all my stuff, so I'm ready to go.
Oh, nice. Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. We got to talk a little in the background. I have a couple things that I want to like show you and run by you, because there's definitely people out there looking to sponsor fighters, especially you, bro. You're doing great. You've been really killing it in the game, and just like undefeated. You're like 8 or 9 or 0 now, like just killing it, man. So
Yeah,
this next guy stands no chance against you, bro. But I guess he just wants to get in there and test himself. You know, good luck to him, and he has balls. So I'll give him
yeah,
that, because it's embarrassing. I would be really scared to fight somebody if I didn't know how to fight and they knew how to fight in front of all these different people, and it's my very first fight. It's just crazy. So, you
yeah. It's
know,
kind of interesting, like with fighting. Like I mean, no, like when I had my first fight, I was scared as shit to have my first fight, and like it's a process. But I applaud this guy for taking the fight, because a lot of people, I know you want to fight me, but like we've asked like 30 people in crypto that are pretty big fucking dudes if they want to fight, and then no one wants to fight, and this guy wants to fight, so I respect it.
yeah,
And the reason why I fight is because I want to test myself, find out who you are, and this is the only way to do it other than fighting in a war, and I'm not going to fight in a war. So
yeah, amen. You're right. It's the closest thing to war, like before going to war.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Amen.
yeah, but I appreciate you having you on, brother. Look forward to seeing you in Singapore. Maybe we can do a pod out there, like a little stream or something.
Yeah, for
Check
sure.
in, but definitely good to see you,
Oh,
brother.
thank you, bro. Thanks for coming on my podcast too, my little NFT spaces and stuff. And I remember I talked to you a little bit ago. And yeah, you're welcome anytime, man. And we're gonna work on some sponsor stuff on this one, because now we have enough time. We have a lot of time before this next one. Not a lot, but a good amount of time to get some sponsors going. So that's cool.
All right, brother. Appreciate it, man.
All right, brother. Talk soon.